the first of 3 major climbs.
Luke, you've run this course many times. What goes through your mind at this point?
Well, this is the toughest part of the course. If you've put yourself in a position where you're hurting too badly at this point, the finish is going to be brutal for you. You're going to lose a lot of places. So these runners have to have stayed composed to this point in the race and have something big left for this last 1.2 miles.
We saw a couple look backs from Mead. Now, coaches always teach not to do that, yet some of the greatest runners, you see it from them quite a bit, as you see another one as he made the turn.
Yeah, Mead just kind of monitoring his efforts and monitoring the runners behind him. He knows he's got a secure lead, but it's so difficult to judge who's making up ground on you, and are you making ground on the other runners on these long climbs.
Mead trying to hold on to the lead as he goes up another incline, and this is a pretty big gap here for Hassan Mead. Going to be tough for anybody, although you do have help when you're in one of those chase packs.
Yeah, these Wisconsin guys are working together behind him, but Hassan Mead's such a talent. I mean, I saw this guy break the University of Minnesota school record in the 5,000 meters as a freshman. He ran faster than Olympians Steve Placencia, Gary Bjorklund, and USA national champion Andrew Carlson. So he's a talent. There he's going to check back again and see where he's at.
Well, he certainly looks very confident there. Rebecca, what do you see?
Hassan Mead's stride is just so long. On these downhills, he really benefits. He really pulls away and takes advantage of his long stride. Now we're about to approach our final climb, and it's the longest climb of the race. It's not as steep as that first of the 3 hills, but it is rather long.
Well, you're right, Rebecca. That is a tough climb, probably close to a half mile in length before they turn around and stay on a flat for the final quarter mile.
And just to re-emphasize, the point in the race where it comes can really change things. Probably not with Hassan Mead. It looks like he's pretty comfortable, probably going to win it. But in the back, I mean, you can gain 10 spots. You can lose 10 or 15 spots just up that final climb.
This will be hugely decisive in the team battle. You see these guys still duking it out back there, the Wisconsin runners battling with Jeff Sieh. One thing coaches always say is that every single point matters, and there's nowhere that's more true than at the conference meet.
So Hassan Mead continues to be out front with a huge gap between himself and second place. And he's got to be wondering where his number 2, 3, 4, and 5 runners are as Minnesota tries to knock off Wisconsin for that team championship.
Yeah, Wisconsin looks awfully strong at this point, but you can bet that Ohio State's back there, giving it their all. Indiana, Minnesota, they're all going to be in there.
And again, the top 5 runners count for the team points. Whatever place you get, that's how many points it counts for your team. And the team with the lowest amount of points wins the championship. Hassan Mead, though, individually tries to defend his title here in cross country in 2009.
And his title looks secure. He's got a lock on it. He's got to just stay on his feet now. But you know what? They're not giving up behind him, and there's a big race for second. Elliot Kraus, just a sophomore at Wisconsin, he's starting to pull into second.
Kraus was 25th at this event a year ago. Here he is trying to get second place behind Mead. If you're Mead, the light at the end of the tunnel as far as the pain you're enduring is that down the stretch it's downhill.
Yeah, the end of a long, lonely run for Mead. At this point, he's starting to come into the finish. He can see it, and he starts to hear the crowd. That's going to will him on, give it that little extra shot of adrenaline. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel so painful. The anguish is nearly over, and he can almost start to celebrate.
You see Kraus in second place from Wisconsin off in the distance, but this is Mead's race to win at this point, and he's also running against the clock. He's got a shot, Luke, to break 25 minutes here on this course.
Yeah, and here you see Vince McNally of Penn State battling with Andrew Poore of Indiana. These two want a top 10 finish and valuable team points.
Right about 10th. As we look, Indiana felt like they had an outside shot at the team title. The finish line is almost here for Hassan Mead as he cruises down the final stretch, looking relaxed, and he crosses for the championship. Hassan Mead, the 2009 Big Ten champion, he defends his individual title. Elliot Kraus of Wisconsin in second. Jeff Sieh, Ohio State, finishes in third. And a congratulatory handshake to the champion Hassan Mead. How about Maverick Darling of Wisconsin? His teammate Muhammad Ahmed also coming in 5th place. The Badgers 3 out of the top 5 individuals. Zach Mayhew, good finish from Indiana. Craig Miller for the Badgers. And Landon Peacock in 8th, the junior for Wisconsin, as the Badgers put 5 in the top 8. And again, the top 5 are the ones that score for the points. The Badgers, yeah, they are pretty sure they've got this one, and it's going to be a very low score here today for Wisconsin. Mead cools off, individual title for him. It looks like the team title goes for the Badgers. Here's Rebecca with the winner.
Congratulations, Hassan. Can you tell us a little bit about the race?
It's Big Tens, long course, one loop, first time I ever ran in one loop course. But, it was a tough race. It wasn't easy.
What was the toughest part of that race?
Pushing, the last 3, kept pushing myself, knowing that, I got great guys chasing me, so I had to, dig deep and keep going and kept going. But I'm glad to, get away with the champ.
So the rundown of the top 8, I mentioned 5 of the top 8 for Wisconsin. It's Mead, then Kraus and C, Darling and Ahmed of Wisconsin, a couple of freshmen there, then Mayhew of Indiana, and Miller and Peacock for the Badgers. Team totals, Wisconsin, and then a surprise, the Buckeyes come up to get second. We talked about it, very aggressive early on. It paid off for Ohio State.
Yeah, 26 points by the Badgers. I mean, what an impressive score, Brent. 15 is a perfect score in cross country. They are not far away.
Coming up from Penn State, great storylines in the women's race. We'll get you set for it when we return at the 09 Cross Country Championships. Welcome back to the blue and white golf course on the campus of Penn State University, the 2009 Big Ten Men's and Women's Cross Country Championships. Moments away from the start of the women's race, the Golden Gophers of Minnesota, they've won back-to-back team titles. Luke, who do you look for individually here?
Individually, I think Angela Bazzari of Illinois has to be the favorite. She's a tough runner with a blistering kick, but we can expect a 3-way battle in this one. Now, Angela Bazzari, certainly talented. She finished 3rd in the USA Championships in the 5,000, but she'll be challenged by Megan Duell of Minnesota. Megan is actually the top returner to this race, so you can't count her out. And then there's Bridget Franek. Bridget is a great steeplechaser, one of the nation's best, and she finished 3rd in the USA Championships in that event last summer. And she knows this course better than anyone. She's a strong runner, so we have to watch out for her.
All right, we're about set to go. 6,000 meters as the women teams heading to the line here at the 09 Championships.
More nervous moments, and when you see the guys race right beforehand, that only adds to the anxiety that these women are feeling. The race is really built up, and here they go.
And so off and running for the women, 6,000 meters here, and again, we touch on the importance of getting off to a good start. It's going to be a great pace filing down this hill here, and it tightens up pretty quickly, so you have to find yourself in good position.
It's astonishing the speed these women are running down the hill. I mean, a lot of these women have PRs in the mile between 440 and 450. Very fast PRs, so we look for a very quick first mile here, just as we had in the men's race.
On the right side of the screen, you see the pack of Minnesota Golden Gophers. They are the defending champions, and Penn State out very well. You want to talk about being aggressive.
Penn State, it was one of their goals to establish position early. This is a tough course, and they want to get right out and get right in it. If you're not in it at the first mile, you probably won't be there at the finish.
Pretty easy to see there. Megan Duell, she's one of the favorites for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. She's right up there in front.
These 3 favorites, we have Franek from Penn State, Duell from Minnesota, Bazzari from Illinois. They sort of personify the team battle here, too, between Illinois, Penn State, and Minnesota.
And the depth with these teams, as we discussed, 6 ranked inside the top 30. The Big Ten certainly has been very good here in 2009.
What a deep conference, and very strong at the front. You know, Angela Bazzari from Illinois has run under 440 in the mile. She's a great 5,000-meter runner with a huge kick. Megan Duell from Minnesota is a big-time 5K, 10K runner. And then Bridget Franek is one of the nation's best steeplechasers. She's from Penn State. So you have a huge battle of 3 great individuals here.
You mentioned Bazzari. She was the runner-up at the Big Ten Outdoor Track and Field Championships in the 1500, and Duell is the champion at 10,000 meters.